Welcome back. We're 4 minutes away from the start of race 3 for the Star Eastern Hemispheres. We're on the beautiful Lake Lucerne, the Vierwaldstätter See. As I'm correctly told in German, the lake of the 4 forested cantons, right in the heart of Switzerland. And the race officer, Beat, very keen to get the third and final race off today. They blew out yesterday for the Föhn thermal breeze, a little bit of a tongue twister out there, and we're figuring out the top 8. We'll come up with that leaderboard in a moment, but with 3 minutes 20 seconds to go, we're looking at a virtual eye picture of the boats out there on the lake, all jostling for position. Our on-water commentator is Christian Scherer, one of Switzerland's most well-known sailors, a former world match racing champ, America's Cup winner with a Lingy, of course, run by Bertarelli, the Swiss magnate, and a full-time sailor. Christian, 3 minutes to go. What can you see? Whereabouts are you?
I'm at the committee boat again. It looks pretty good. It's a nice solid breeze. It's a bit like the last start, probably at 10 knots here, and it's for a day like today, we would say it's clear, but it's totally overcast, and boats are just getting ready. It looks a little bit again like the committee boat is going to be a little bit favored than where people want to start. Wind is sort of shifting forward and back. We'll see how that goes at the moment. There's a normal start sequence. We're approaching now 2 minutes to the start as everybody is getting slowly ready and looking up the course. Can't see much pressure-wise where it'll be stronger or not. In the last race, we had most of the guys going up the left-hand side, like sailing towards that cliff that is up there on the left-hand side. 1 minute and 30 seconds right now as the boats are all approaching a bit more. This is a normal start. And last race we had actually the first start, a general recall, and then a black flag being hoisted. But at the moment we'll see how that goes. A lot of the boats already quite close to the line, and I can see George Zabel here approaching the line, the Greek team. This is 1 minute to the start now. Diego Negri as well here, over here on the side where the committee boat is. So most of the teams trying to get a start over at the right-hand side at the committee line. There's a bit of a fight going on between Papatanasio and Diego Negri. Papatanasio trying to push out Negri for the start on the committee here. And we got 30 seconds to go as all the boats are approaching. Papatanasio all the way over here, locking out Negri at the committee. Just 15 seconds to go. Zabo a bit further down the line. Boat slowly accelerating. At 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and off they go. Really nice start from Pascolato, the Brazilian boat, also from the Greek. And Diego Negri as well managed to get pretty nicely out of that situation. And I would say at the moment from where I'm standing here, great start from the Brazilians. Pascolato, really nice start from the Papatanasio as well from Greece. And Diego Negri just hanging in there on his hip. Difficult position for Diego Negri at the moment, but he's just holding on. And slowly the Greece speeding forward, and trying just to get a bit clear here of the boats. There are actually a couple of boats stacked over to the right, and a nice, really nice start from the Greek boat. which is probably in a really nice position. I see further down the line, I see George Zabel popping up with his golden star in his mainsail, but I give it back to you guys in the studio. I'm actually be curious how the advantage line looks like at the moment. Back to you, Digby.
Well, Christian, I can tell you that the Italians, Negri and Lambertenghi, did have a great start, but so did Berger and Marazzi, and Pascalato and Buerning from Brazil lying second on the leader line behind Berger and Marazzi. So the Swiss sailors, Berger and Marazzi, doing a super start. They're right in the middle of that pack, just nudging clear ahead of Pascalato and Buerning. And then another Swiss team of Zimmermann and Coy, Marcus Coy, I believe, sailing there with Zimmermann and up into third. And then the Greek team of Papathanasiou and Chotras just ahead of Szabo and Pulfer. So the American Szabo with his gold star on his boat, which signifies having won a world championship before. That was in 2009 in Varberg in Sweden. And Szabo currently joint first overall after 2 races. And this 4th position is going to do them a power of good. And there they are in the middle, duking it out. And some of the boats now beginning to head to the right-hand side. But the majority of the boats staying on one tack, drag racing out to the middle of that race track. It looked to us, looking at that virtual eye, that the start line was slightly biased towards the committee boat end, which was no surprise to see most of the boats trying to start there. And here is the provisional results, the top 8 after 2 races. George Szabo and Serge Pulfer on 4 points with Christoph Berger and Renato Marazzi. So those two tied on 4 points after 2 races, with the Greek team of Papathanasiou and Chotras on 7 points, and then Negri and Lambertenghi on 8 points. Now in 5th, De Haas and Veldhuizen from Holland, and then the Brazilians Pascalato with Buerning in 6th position, and then Hubert Merkelbach and Gerrit Bartel in 7th, with Scheidegger and Scheidegger, Kurt and Marcus, the 2 brothers from Switzerland. So 2 Swiss teams in that top 8, and all to play for. Race number 3 underway. We're just 3.5 minutes into this race, and the top runners and riders, Berger and Marazzi, out there with the lead line. First position at the moment, Virtual Eye giving us the mathematical closest distance to that top mark, and it's looking like the guys in the middle, it's all paying off for them at the moment. We'll see how it pays off for the guys on the right, but in race number 2, they got into some trouble. It looked good for them for a little moment. It looked like they were getting some great breeze, but then mathematically they sailed a much longer distance when the guys on the right sailed way past the ley line, and they fell back. So they were in the glory for a short while, possibly in more breeze, but then the guys who went left and then up the middle came round the top mark first. And at the moment, that is the Swiss sailors, Berger and Marazzi, with Szabo and Pulfer in 2nd, and Pascalato and Buerning in 3rd. And then that Greek team of Papathanasiou and Chotras, who had a phenomenal start to race number 2. At the moment, that's our play of the day. We'll see how this pans out, see if there's a better play of the day coming up in race 3. But Papathanasiou and Chotras in 4th position, and they, of course, had a penalty flag on them, had to do 2 penalty turns for pumping. I think that must have been Antonis on the foredeck, using too much kinetic energy to roll the boat. Christian Scherer out on the water. Christian, you're from Switzerland. You've raced on these lakes quite a lot. Cool to get race number 3 in on day 2 and to catch up a little bit with our schedule. But conditions looking fairly good. It looks like a clean race course out there.
Yeah, it looks really nice at the moment. It looks actually a bit more stable with the breeze, less puffy, and bit more uniform all over the race course, and everybody has spread out quite nicely here. Like, you got the whole fleet spread out over the whole width of the lake, pretty much going up that first beat, and everybody, most of the guys, all heading to the left-hand side. Some repositioning to get clear air, like Diego Negri had to do, but everybody, like on, let's say, 80% or 90% of the fleet on sub attack, and it's really nice conditions. Really good call from the race committee to put this extra race in, and it looks like really good racing out here today on the Ordnersee here at the second day of this European Championship.
Well, 1 nautical mile from the lead boat, the Italian team of Negri and Lambertenghi now taking the lead over Riffel and Guder from Switzerland. Just under a nautical mile to go to the top. I guess they're doing about 1.5 nautical miles from top to bottom. At the Worlds, it was around 2 nautical miles. So they're doing a shorter race course, 4 legs, up, down, straightforward windward-leeward courses for the star class at the Eastern Hemispheres. And majority of the fleet are working their way across the middle of the lake on starboard tack, heading to the left-hand side of the racetrack. A few boats just tacking over onto port to head up to the right-hand side of the racetrack, but we're nearly halfway up this first beat, and it's looking like the Italians, Negri and Lambertenghi, with a 33-metre lead over the Swiss team of Riffel and Guder, and then Papathanasio and Chotras in third position, Szabo and Pulfer in fourth. So George Szabo, past world champ from San Diego, he's sailing for the first time with Serge Pulfer from Switzerland, French-speaking Serge, American-speaking George, and they don't speak each other's language. So some interesting communications going on board that boat. George was just saying how tricky it was between them both, but they're managing to figure it out, which is pretty impressive actually. Both extremely experienced sailors in the star class, and they're managing to make their communications work really nicely here on Lake Lucerne in the middle of Switzerland. So just looking at this leaderboard, wondering how the European champ is getting on, Dr. Hubert Merkelbach. He's a real character, such an enthusiastic sailor. Virtual Eye is showing us he's in probably the second rank of sailors, just heading to the right of the screen now, just having to duck somebody, not having the best race at all. But now in our studio we have the Chief Technology Officer, Francois Chéron, from Switzerland. And Francois, great to have you with us, mate. What are you seeing on our Virtual Eye, Francois?
Well, on fourth position you can see Lorenz Zimmermann with Markus Koy. That's a pretty nice crew for Germany. 2 meters high, more than 100 kilograms, and he's just back from the Copa del Rey in Palma, and he was taking part to the Swan 60 World Championship along with some other star sailors like Johannes Polgar, his usual skipper on star, and also the last world champion Robert Staniak. So I know he just flew off from Palma yesterday evening yesterday morning, to be able to race with Lorenz Zimmermann, the organizer of this championship here in Brunnen. So that's a long trip from Palma to Brunnen in such a short time frame, and switch from 60 feet length boat to a star, and that's pretty impressive for Markus Koy.
Well, it's looking like Laurence Zimmermann and Markus Koy up into fourth position. Laurence is the event organizer of this Eastern Hemisphere Championship in Brunnen. German-speaking Laurence, working with Philippe, doing a great job of hosting this championship, and they moved 100 tons of material over to the little port just outside Brunnen, on the edge of Brunnen, to create more space for all these stars to park up overnight. And so a phenomenal job by Lorenz. And it really is a beautiful sight. We're really enjoying it. They've got a lovely marquee and various tents out there on the grass lawn area for the championship right next to the port, and a big marquee after the racing today, I imagine me and Chris here will zoom out and catch up with a few more of the sailors for some more interviews that will drop into the virtual racing tomorrow. So now on our leaderboard, it is looking like Rauch and Weiss from Germany just nipping the lead from Negri and Lambertenghi, with Riffel and Guda in third, Kulper and Rosler in fourth, and then Zimmermann and Coy in fifth, with Zebo and Pulfer in sixth position. So out on the water, Christian Scherer, it's pretty close at the top, you know, between the top eight boats. There's about 100 meters between the top eight. Pretty early days in this first leg. And but it's looking like Rauch and Weiss, and then Negri and Lambertenghi looking rather good. Christian, over to you. What can you see? Okay, we will dial back in with Christian in just a moment. We're using a mobile phone hookup to talk to Christian, and it's a little patchy up here in the mountains, the phone signals. So far so good, but we'll come back to Christian in just a moment. Hi, Christian. We're seeing a little bit of lead changes here. It's all going on. There's quite a few boats in contention. At the moment, Christian, Rauch and Weiss from Germany are just leading Kulper and Rosler from Switzerland, with Negri and Lambertenghi in the mix in third position. Whereabouts are you on the course, Christian? Okay, well, struggling to patch into Christian there. We'll keep trying. Possibly he's repositioning his way up the course to get up towards the top mark. There is our virtual view. We can see some of the guys on the right-hand side, Vasa and Gauci. They're heading, doing a right track up there with Köhler and Schaefer and Speer and Urban and Mendel. And the Scheidegger brothers in the middle there, they're having a good series so far. But at the moment for this race, who is leading? Rauch and Weiss. And whereabouts are they? Bridie, Rauch and Weiss. Are they at top right? Wow, it's happened again. So boats far out to the right. Cooper and Rochler and Rauch and Weiss. Forgive my pronunciations. They have done it again. They've gone far out to the right. Looks like more pressure. Mathematically, they are now closest to that top mark. And we'll see how it pans out for these guys. Quite interesting. Some local sailors, Kulper and Rochler, Trinkart and Melan, Riffel and Guda. And here's a little bunch here having their own little battle way out on the right-hand side. And they're doing about 5.4, 5.6 knots. Cooper and Rosler getting a burst of speed there, up to 6 knots. And quite interesting to see. Well, we'll see how it pans out when they go around the top mark. We did see this in race number 2, that these guys got a big puff, a big shift, and they were working their way up, and they managed to climb up to the top of the leaderboard. But I'm still going to put my money on Negri and Lambertenghi around that top mark first. We'll see how that pans out. Chris, take you on a little beer for that one if you'd like. It's good. Long odds there for us. And here they go. So let's try and patch into Christian Scherer out there on the racetrack. Christian, are you receiving us? No, we'll try. We'll dial in again to Christian. Having slight issues with our mobile phone technology. A few gremlins today, I must admit. We had Virtual Eye dropping out of race 1, and some tracker gremlins, and now some mobile phone gremlins. That's just the way it is with technology. We'll bash through. But from us, with this comfortable view of Virtual Eye, look at these guys over on the right-hand side of the track, overstanding the ley line, that yellow ley line, by an absolute mile. And these guys taking a little bit of a flyer. But I would still put my money on Lambertenghi and Negri. The Italians, who are taking a more traditional course, have headed up left up the course and now beginning to tack over to the right-hand side. Bridie from Virtual, if we can zoom in to Negri and Lambertenghi, I think they've just tacked within the ley line in that leading group. Let's just see how they're getting on. Meanwhile, we're trying to get hold of Christian Scherer out on the water. Can you hear us?
Yeah. See you guys there. There's more and more right-hand shift out here, and actually the Negri looking nicely here, being on the inside of that shift, and he just repositioned himself to be a bit in a better position. The breeze has definitely gone to the right quite a bit. Be interesting if any of the guys who went to the right can make something out of this. But at the moment, I think Negri actually being in a nice position where he is at the moment. And the whole wind's probably a little down. The lake's got pretty flat and nice, but still good pressure here for everybody in the race. And for the guys who went all the way to the left, probably lost the most. The middle of the fleet or the right hand side paid off, and the puffs are still more righty when I look at the boats here. So I see Diego Negri in a strong position at the moment.
Well, I'd agree with you, Christian. On Virtual Eye, we're looking at Diego Negri and Sergio Lambertenghi. They're doing 4.7 knots, 5 knots. Rather interesting that the guys out on the right consistently doing faster boat speeds. They're going a little quicker, the guys out on the right, almost a knot faster, Virtual Eye is telling us, the satellite trackers. So now as the boats converged to that top mark and the spreader mark, we'll see how this is paying off. But right now we're looking at the boat speeds on the leaderboard, 4.4, 4.1 for Negri and Lambertenghi, and 5.2, 5.6 for Kulpa and Rosler. So quite an interesting convergence, but the guys out on the right have overstood the ley line by a very long way, and they'll have sailed a little bit further distance, and we'll see how that comes together as they get to that top mark. Not looking too bad for Kulpa and Rosler at the moment, and Rauch and Weiss, and we get a fantastic view on Virtual Eye as these two groups converge to that top mark. So not much in it, Christian, for the boats heading to that top mark. Negri and Lambertenghi in a battle to get there ahead of Kulpa and Rosler. But you're up there, Christian. We're seeing it virtually. There isn't much in it. What can you tell us, Christian?
Well, at the moment, like you said, I see 3 full boats actually coming in from the right-hand side. They got a lot more pressure, and they're actually almost with cracked sheets going to that top mark, while with the big righty that has been going in, Diego Negri and his crew, they're actually, they're getting a bit more breeze right now. So the whole left-hand side of the race course gone really light. So it's going to be tricky, where I see the boats on the right-hand side actually with cracked sheets. They're just reaching in to the top mark. Meanwhile, the breeze, Diego Negri just got a bit more breeze, so he should be accelerating now also on your tracker. And the other guys from the right overstood the long way, and actually the breeze comes a bit more stable. There's a nice puff just here at the top mark, and I see, it looks pretty close. To me, like the boat from the right-hand side will be first at the top mark.
Thanks, Christian. Well, Virtual Eye is giving us Kulpa and Rosler hammering in towards that top mark, as you say, almost on a reach now. They went way above the ley line, went for the pressure, the breeze, and now are hammering in towards that top mark. Negri and Lambertenghi coming up from a much finer angle within the ley lines. And so these two boats are approaching. Christian, you must be right there on that top mark.
Yeah, actually, and you're right. It's Kulpe and Rosler who just, with bow number 36, who went around the top mark just now, off to the reach. And they're first around the top mark, coming all the way from the right. Negri just tacking out. He should be able to go around this mark in a second position. Yeah, he is. He's going to be second. It's probably a 80-meter lead on Kulpe and Rosler. And then two more boats coming in from the right-hand side that are now getting around the top mark now, which is bow number 35, which is Tricard and Miller. And afterwards, a German boat with the bow number 19, Rauch and Wiese, where we lost a little bit all the other guys we were looking at. Now bow number 12 comes around. This is Rotermund and Holweg. They're now coming around. It mixed up the fleet quite a bit. Now we got Chatigny and Ducommun coming around next, and another German boat just behind them, which is Kohler and Schäfer. Everything is a bit mixed up now. It's actually interesting to see that. Now bow number 3 is approaching. There's some gusts coming in from the right-hand side. We have now as next Merkelbach and Bartel. And now the whole pack actually is coming around, more and more boats. Quite a bit of a situation here with a lot of boats coming in from the left-hand side with no right of way. I got just now Papatanasio coming around that top mark. And I'm actually looking out for Zabo and Berger. Wonder what happened to them. Can't see them right now. Meanwhile, a lot of the boats have come around. Now we got the Brazilians, the Swedes. Bow number 13 are coming around. This is Krock and Lundgren. A lot of squeezing going on here with the boats coming in. Still haven't seen Berger and Marazzi. Now we got, here they are. Berger, Marazzi coming around the top mark now. A little bit later, Sabo. Just now, there's been some big losses on the left-hand side. And I think the right definitely was the way to go. And that's why guys like Diego Negri and also Papatanasio were so much trying to get out on that committee boat to go up that beat. So much from up here. Everybody's coming around the top mark now, and most of the boats are heading downwind. Breeze has increased a bit more. Probably got 12 knots by now, and I give it back to the studio.
Thanks, Christian. Well, there's Lofsted and Kleen and De Haas and Veldhusen just about to head round the top. Not such a great race for Tom Lofsted and Fritjof Kleen. A fascinating first leg. I think we might run that as our play of the day, that first leg, because it was amazing to see Kulpa and Rosler bang the right-hand corner, come round, get into more pressure, and then just squeeze ahead of Negri and Lambertenghi by 28 seconds around that top mark. That was quite a good bit of local tactics. We will catch up with Kulpa and Rosler in the tent a little bit later and try and get the inside story on that, because I'm sure some of the other competitors would like to see that. And during tomorrow's racing, all being well, we'll run a slow-mo replay of that leg and see how they get them to talk us through it themselves. So, Virtual Eye zooming up over Lake Lucerne, or via Waldstätter See, and we can see quite a big shift of the gate. They've moved from the start, they moved to the right-hand side to run a slightly less biased course, and quite a big wind shift during that first leg. So the majority of the fleet around at the top mark now, and we have a bird's eye view over Lake Lucerne looking down the track, and all the boats hammering down towards that bottom gate on leg number two of 4. So they've gone round the top mark, they'll go down the gate and do another lap to finish race number 3. And the boats are beginning to spread out at the front of the fleet. The Swiss team, Kulper and Rosler, managing to hang on to their lead, with Negri and Lambertenghi champing at the bit, 67 meters behind, and we'll see if they can claw into that lead. In fact, just as we looked at that, they made about 3 or 4 meters on the leaders. And look at Negri and Lambertenghi. They're going to be battling away, trying to take the lead of this race, and that's quite a good battle. The Italians, Negri and Lambertenghi, second at the Worlds. They are match fit, they are on form, and they are on fire, and joint overall leaders of this championship. And my money is still on them, or at least my beer is still on them, Chris, for the overall title. And then Rauch and Visa. How do I pronounce that, Francois? Visa. Rauch and Weiser from Germany, with Rotermund and Hollweg, the 2 German teams coming down. They also had a good first leg with Chatigny and Ducomont, who took that right-hand flyer with Trincart and Mélin. So probably a bit of local knowledge coming into play here on Lake Lucerne, with its very variable and interesting lake breezes. And fair play, really, you know, to the Swiss team who read that perfectly, and a lot of the other teams will be reading that very closely and be interested to know how they did that, because that could be a tactic that will come into play over the following 2 days. 2 more days to go of the championship. I imagine they'll try and get at least 2 races in, and we know that they'll only do 1 race on the final day 4 here on Lake Lucerne. Very tricky conditions. We're surrounded by high mountains. We have thermal breezes spinning in when the land heats up, but a lot of cloud cover over the mountains, a lot of rain earlier today. We can show just very quickly, Chris, we can just give you a quick spin of our beauty cam, and believe it or not, all the boats are in that shot right on the horizon there, but a lot of cloud cover as the boats come towards us from our commentary position in the Waldstätterhof Hotel, beautiful hotel on the side of the lake. So there is Kulper and Rosler battling away at the front of the fleet. They're holding off Negri and Lambertenghi at the moment. Rauch and Weiser, is that right, Weiser?
Yeah, Weiser.
Weiser, sorry. Rauch and Weiser in 3rd, with Chatigny and Ducomont now up into 4th position. And a big old lineup, boats really spread out across the lake. With me in the studio, Francois Charrayon, the technical officer of the Star Sailors League. Cool to get 3 races in, Francois.
Yeah, I think though it could be totally possible to have 3 races. It would be nice, so they would catch up with the schedule and have less pressure on the PRO for tomorrow. I think, yeah, that could be totally possible, and I think that's a good idea for the PRO to have launched a 3rd race today.
Well, okay, some good speeds now. I wonder if Bridie from Virtual Eye, let's whack up some boat speeds, see what kind of see what they're up to now. So 6.1 for Kulpa and Rosler at the front. So they're all kind of doing 6 knots, over 6 knots. Some faster boats in the middle of that pack. Somebody, Pascalato and Buerning, up to 6.8. So they're on a charge downwind. And these guys needing a bit of clear air behind them. On Virtual Eye, we can see the Greek team of Papathanasiou and Chotras in 11th place in race number 3. They had quite a good first beat. Quite a few of these sailors were looking pretty stellar on that first beat, including George Szabo. And now I can't see the Americans in that top 20 at all. So, Bridie, I wonder if we move back through the fleet, we move our way backwards, we'll see who we've got just out of the top 20. Pascalato and Buerning in 15th place overall, the Scheidegers in 18th, and as we move back through the fleet, just get a little bit of an idea. There's Lofsted and Clean, and Szabo and Pulfer in that mix, in the middle of our picture. So I am guessing they're mid-20s. Szabo, George Szabo, they were joint overall leaders going into this race. It was looking really good for them going up that first beat, but I think they just must have fallen into some holes there, and they were hammered by the boats coming in from the right-hand side. So a little bit of snakes and ladders on Lake Lucerne. This is lake sailing, and the local knowledge sailors, Kulpa and Rosler, we will catch up with them later today to talk us through that first leg, because that has rocketed them into first place in race number 3. And at the moment, that I would say, Chris, that's our play of the day. That first leg from Kulpa and Rosler. That was really nicely done. We didn't predict it. We really thought they were going to be way out of contention, but they proved us wrong, which is rather nice. Out on the racecourse, Christian Scherer from Switzerland, professional sailor from Switzerland, former match racing world champ, America's Cup winner, full-time sailor and a race organizer. Christian, very interesting kind of conditions. Racing on a lake, you're from Switzerland, you've raced on quite a few of these lakes up here. I guess local knowledge is going to come into play.
Yeah, definitely local knowledge helps. The guys who've been racing here before, it is something that can help. Even though it's not a typical day for sailing here on Lake Uri, usually the guys are used to race here with the thermal breeze. Now it's a bit of a different situation in this overcast, rainy kind of situation. Even in one direction, it's pretty much the same. And definitely the local guys, or the guys, the Swiss guys who've been racing here before, they know a couple of tricks to know that, where to go. But even though I think guys who are like used to sail on other mountain lakes like Garda, so as Diego Negri, for example, they know the tricks or the possibilities of what can happen here on a lake like this. And right now, actually, we have just the first boat approaching the Lewis Gate, and we still have the Swiss team in the lead, just followed closely by the Italians. And they actually came a bit closer. Whole fleet with the new pressure coming down. It actually looks like when you look up the windward, there's a bit more rain coming, a bit more pressure, and so Kulpa and Rosler are getting ready to go around the leeward mark. They just put their pole away and sheeting on right now, going upwind. They're taking the right-hand gate mark. When you look upwind, Diego Negri is just following like 4 or 5 boat lengths behind, and they're pretty close. Actually, a bit of a better rounding by the Italians. They closed in quite a bit. When up there at the top mark, it was like 22 seconds. Probably now it's down to 10 seconds or even less. They're sailing a bit to the right. And in third position, we have bow number 18, No, that's wrong. It's a German boat that is coming now. This is not 18. This is 19, as it looks like. Yeah. This is bow number 19. So that's Raf and Wiese, followed by Chatigny and Ducomin. Then by Germans, Kohler and Checker. And some more Swiss boats here, Trinquin and Mélin. And then boat number 12, who actually got a penalty on the downwind, Rotermund and Hallweg. They had to do, as I could see, a penalty turn as they've been rocking the boat as well. All these boats went around the right-hand mark, looking upwind. Now, on this end, just right now, we got Merkelbach and Barkel coming around. Over on the far side, I see the Capitanacio going upwind. So there must be within the top 10. Actually, Lawrence Zimmermann as well. There, he's the first boat who went around the left-hand gate mark, looking upwind. The event organizer sailing together with Marcus Coy. And now the rest of the fleet is coming down. More and more boats all together, choosing either side of the marks. Most of them taking the right-hand side mark, looking upwind and going up the right-hand side, as they probably want to see if they can repeat the big gain that Kulpe and Rosler just did on their first beat. Breeze is a little less right as it was before, a bit more all over the race course, and definitely a little bit more than we had just before. Right now, when I measure the wind, I'm actually reading here 10, 12 knots. So good conditions for going up that second beat in that third race of today. Back to you, to the studio.
Well, Christian, interesting racing out here on Lake Lucerne as we watch the rest of the fleet go around that bottom gate. I noticed that Negri and Lambertenghi gained quite a bit on that downwind leg. They were some 30 seconds behind, and they managed to claw some of that distance back on Kulpe and Rosler. So we'll see how they get on as they go upwind. Negri and Lambertenghi, as we mentioned earlier, just come from the World Championships where they scored a second, a silver medal, and so they are match fit and on fire, and we'll see if they can claw ahead of our Swiss friends Kulpe and Rosler heading up towards the top mark. They are now just over halfway around the racetrack. It's 4 legs, upwind, downwind, upwind, downwind. A straightforward windward-leeward course. Slightly shorter legs to get 3 races in today, which was a good call by the race officer, Beat. Really nice guy, very confident, and he was very cautious yesterday, just didn't want to take any risks with the sailors or the boats, with the Föhn, the funky thermal wind barreling down that lake. We could see the whitecaps just kind of moving towards us, towards our position. And so yesterday the race committee decided to get everybody in and play it safe, and that was a good call. So here we are, more than halfway around the racetrack for race number 3. We're nearly 40 minutes into this race, so I'm guessing going to have a sort of 80-minute 70-80 minute race. And there they go, upwind. The bias has moved. They've moved that gate towards the right hand side of the lake, going upwind, and you can see that starboard tack is by far the favoured tack as they go upwind. And it'll be interesting to see if anybody does a right hand flyer again, having looked at the stunning performance of Kulpe and Rosler. I wonder if Kulpe and Rosler will head out to that right-hand side. And there we can see on the leaderboard, Negri and Lambertenghi have indeed overtaken the Swiss team of Kulper and Rosler, with Chatigny and Ducomont in third, Rauch and Wieser in fourth position at the moment. A little bit of a replay of leg one with Negri and Labentengi. Kulper and Rosler. We'll see if Kulper and Rosler play their hand again, or whether they just stick to the Italians and try and consolidate onto their position, or whether they play their local knowledge and head out to the right-hand side of the course and try and pick up that extra pressure on the way up towards the top. Now, there's a few families sailing here, quite a few brothers sailing together, and some father-son sailors as well, and also some daughter-father sailors. And yesterday we caught up with the female skipper. I think she's the only female skipper here, Camille Dreyfus, who is skippering for her father, Michel Dreyfus. They're from France, and we sat down with them in the sunshine on the dock as the phone was beginning to blow, and we just got a little taste from these family sailors here. Well, we've got a few families racing here in Brunnen at the Star Easterns, and I just wanted to come and say hi to Camille and Michel Dreyfus from France. Camille, you're daughter of Michel, correct?
Exactly.
Okay. And where are you guys from in France? De où en France?
Annecy.
Okay. And you've sailed stars for a long time?
Yeah, pretty long time, since
20 years, 20 ans. And Michel, are you the keen sailor in the family?
Yes.
Yes. Since 60 years.
60 years, okay. And you have persuaded your daughter Camille to come with you, and who is steering? Who is crewing?
I am to.
Okay, you're helming, so you're in charge, Camille.
Yes.
Fantastic.
He's a skipper.
Yeah. Okay. And what is your, coming here to Brunnen? What was the real attraction of this championship?
To sail together in a really big regatta.
Very nice place.
Yeah.
But with strong wind.
Yeah. Strong wind today. Obviously,
Okay.
Unfortunately, day one cancelled due to the phone. But just a couple more questions. I mean, it's very nice seeing family sailing together. And is the relationship good? Is it very calm?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So who makes what decision on board? Who does what on board with decision making?
Comment on dit le réglage? My father checks
The rig, les voiles, tout ça.
yeah.
Yes.
And I'm doing tactic.
Okay.
And, I skip.
Fantastic. And final question, dernière question. What result would be a good result for you here?
Not to be last.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Michel?
The same. Not to be.
And a very final question. There aren't many women who sail stars. I mean, we've got a handful here. Il n'y a pas beaucoup de femmes,
No.
qui...
It's too difficult.
Only Camille.
Oh, really? For the strength? Yeah, okay.
So it's just for the pleasure to sail
Yeah.
together, because
Okay.
I'm not so strong.
Okay. Oh, well, you look strong to me. Thank you. Merci beaucoup pour votre temps and bonne chance. Hein? Merci. Okay, well, there are the two Dreyfus, father and daughter. They're in contention. I think they're in the early 20s in this race. They were in the top 20 earlier, but it's lovely to see a family team racing out here on Lake Lucerne, and they were in tremendous spirits yesterday, and just a little flavour of the star class. I mean, we've got a real mix, haven't we, Francois, of, we've got some family sailors, some brothers sailing together, and fathers and daughters, which is really nice. We've got some really, some young sailors and some sailors in their 70s, and some kind of I would call professional sailors, you know, at the sharp end, you know, sail makers like George Szabo, and you know, some of the top crews, just like our world champ Fritjof Kleen, and some of these guys are a bit full-time. So a real spread of abilities out here on the racetrack.
Yeah, definitely. That's also a beauty of the star class. I mean, when you're like Sebastian Vincent, for example, only in your 20s, and you come to such a race, and you can have next to you a world champion sailing in the same regatta as you do. It's always a big motivation to improve and to go on and go training every week, even if it's raining outside. And so I think that's really good to have such a diversity on the race course, mixing up world champions and some just family sailors that want to improve and sail together.
Well, you mentioned Sebastian and Vincent. They were 68th at the Worlds in Lake Garda, and Sebastian and Vincent both come in. They had a disaster at the start of race number 2 with somebody holing them in the bow. So commiserations to them. They've got a bit of glass fibre work to do, but life goes on, and I should just mention that Sebastian is grinning at me and giving me hell, but Sebastian is actually responsible for all the trackers here. He does all the work to getting all the trackers ready, and it's a real handful. At the Worlds we had, I mean, it was 90 boats or so, and it was a lot of boats and a lot of trackers to juggle. And the Star Sailors League has invested a fair amount putting trackers on all of these boats, and it's quite a complex scenario tracking 90 boats simultaneously. We've got 49 boats racing at the Eastern Hemispheres, and at the moment everything's going really well, and we're happy for that. We're getting a very, very accurate position of exactly where these boats are on the water. We know that the sailors, they finish and they come in. And because we have these races on YouTube, they can replay them and not necessarily listen to us babbling away, but see exactly how they did on their track, and how some of the leading boats did on their track, and what some of the winning tactics were. I did mention earlier that we'll have a play of the day tomorrow, where we'll replay a certain aspect of racing today, and ask the skipper and crew to come into the studio and talk us through it as we speed up a certain moment. And I think for tomorrow morning we're going to try and get the Kulpa and Rosler team in and speed up that first beat of race number 3, because it's rather interesting to see how they did that, and just to see what exactly they were thinking, what they could see on the racetrack, and we'll make that come alive. And here they are in second position, just behind Negri and Lambertenghi, with Chatagnier and Ducomont in third. Rausch and Weiser in fourth position, the German team, with Rotermund and Holweg in fifth. And then Zimmermann, the event organizer, Lorenz Zimmermann, sailing with Marcus Coy. And Marcus Coy, a very experienced star sailor, Olympic class sailor, and he's current European champion. He was racing with Hubert Merkelbach on Lake Balaton in Hungary to win the European champ. So Marcus Coy, reigning European champ, and in 2005 he was the Eastern Hemisphere Championships, and 3 times European champ, by the way. So a real talent, Marcus Coy, racing with Lorenz Zimmermann, and they're doing a pretty good job in race number 3, 6th overall, 6th in race number 3, and not doing too badly overall. And then Kohler and Schaefer from Deutschland, just battling away with Merkelbach and Bartel, their compatriots from Lake Constance. So just over 500 meters towards the top mark. This will be mark number 3, the final top mark rounding. The Italians Negri and Lambertenghi have indeed clawed ahead of the Swiss sailors Kulpa and Rosler, and we have Christian Scherer from Switzerland out on the water, battling away. I'm just looking out the window. I can't see anything out the window because it's pouring with rain. I hope you're okay. Christian, what's happening out there?
Yeah, Yeah, it's wonderful sailing conditions out here. It's it's like pretty much all of the day. It's one rainfall after the other, but the wind is good. There we got really nice wind conditions, and I'm just looking at Negri and Lambertenghi making a really nice job here, like sailing very and fast, moving into the first position and taking every shift. Now there's just a little bit extra pressure coming down from the windward mark. They just tagged on to starboard. Now the same thing is done by the second boat, by Cooper and Whistler, and they're just getting closer and closer to their top mark, taking every shift and extending their lead and doing a really nice job. There's a bit more breeze coming down. We see some small white caps. This comes down with the rain here, and a really nice third race here. And Diego, Negri, and Lambertenghi securing, as it looks to me, another great result here in this third race.
Well, Christian, we can see Negri and Lambertenghi just underneath that top mark, and Culper and Rosler went a little further right than the Italians, so they didn't do their full-on right-hand flyer. They've been a lot more conservative on this second lap around the track, and as we say, we'll try and find out from them what were they thinking on that first leg. It was brilliant, brilliant move. And I'm curious to find out, and I hope we'll be able to replay all that tomorrow. So 57 metres, Negri and Lambertenghi on the gain line over Culper and Rosa. Culper and Rosa slightly to windward, so that'll close up as Negri and Lambertenghi tacks to that top mark. And then Rauch and Weiser in third position with Châtenay and Ducomont in fourth. And there's Hubert Merkel back, the gallant doctor, up into fourth, fifth with Gerrit Bartel. So the European champ beginning to play his hand and beginning to get onto form, and we'd expect to see him in the top 10 or possibly the top 5 overall by the end of this championship. This is race number 3. I believe 4 races they need to actually count for a Star Eastern Hemisphere Championship, so they'll need to complete one more race and then they can actually guarantee a result for the championship. And then if they complete 5 races, all the crews can discard their worst, which I'm sure many will be wishing to do. So Negri and Lambertenghi, the guys on form, just heading to that top mark, tacking ahead of Culper and Rosler, just over 50 metres in it. Merkelbach and Bartel on the port lay line just coming up, and they're going to run into a little bit of traffic with the guys on starboard, Châtenay and Ducomont, Rauch and Weiser. And so that's how it's looking as we approach mark number 3. Negri, Lambertenghi just about to tack for the top mark. Christian is out there, our eyes and ears on the water. Phenomenal sailing by the Italians, Christian.
Yeah, really nice sailing by the Italians. They take every shift, they got really good boat speed, and that's how they sailed away and around the first, after the first leading Swiss boat. They're now just at the mark, easing the sheets. Ooh, almost touching the mark there, but just not. That was a close one, and they're pulling away with this nice breeze here. They probably got this, they actually got the same lead over Culper and Rosler as they had the other way around at the top mark. Culper and Rosler now approaching the top mark. They are now bearing away, and now there's a whole bunch of boats coming in all together. Culper and Rosler got a bit of a lead over the next boat. Now it's getting pretty close with a bunch of boats all coming in at the same time. So I'm trying to see them all to see who's coming in here next. The bow number 19 is just checking around. This is Rauch and Weiser, and we have a Swiss boat, bow number 7. It's Chatigny and Ducommun just coming around fourth together with Rauch and Weiser. The Papatanasio is coming next. They're just sliding forward, shooting that mark. There's 3 boats going around that top mark. That's super close. I wonder if there's not any German boat number 3, Merkelbacher, actually totally stuck at that top mark. They had to tack away, and they definitely lost the 3 or 4 spots. Just after Merkelbach and Bartel, actually, we have George Sabo now coming in. He catched up nicely on that upwind leg, and but not a good top mark rounding here for Merkelbach and Bartel. More boats coming now up here. It's still pretty close. Looks like this speed compressed the whole fleet a little bit. So we now have just now the finish coming around. This is Sundman and Sundman together, and the Swedes as well. The Brazilians coming up to the top mark. They lost quite a bit here. Postolato and Benning. I don't see Berger and Marazzi. They definitely didn't have the best race. Now I can see them right here. They're now just tacking onto the ley line for that mark. They definitely can't be happy with that result here. But after that great performance they had earlier on. So most of the boats are at the top mark, and half of the fleet already on the downwind towards the finish. Big lead for Diego Negri, and Kulpe and Rösler in second position. And then it's pretty much full on for that third spot. So it'll be interesting to see how they go on the downwind, and see who can squeeze into the third spot. Back to you in the studio, guys.
Thanks, Christian. And there we're seeing Berger and Marazzi, who had 2 fabulous races 1 and 2, having not such a great race number 3. They're out of the top 20, unfortunately. And there are friends Camille Dreyfus with her dad just rounding behind there. So as we work our way forward, there are the Scheidegger brothers just rounding that spreader mark. Lofsted and Clean, Riffel and Gouda. The Brazilians, Pascalato and Buerning, with Kruk and Lundgren just passing one of the back markers. Sundman and Sundman, Trinkart and Mailing, and then Urban and Mendel with Merkelbach and Bartel up there, and Zabo and Pulfer managing to climb back up to 11th. They had they looked pretty good on the first beat, and then they looked pretty bad on the run down, and now they managed to climb their way back to 11th place, which is quite impressive. Zimmerman and Coy up there in the contention, 6th with the Greek guys, Papathanasiou, and then Chatagnier and Ducommun having a good old battle there with Rauch and Weiser. There's a bit of luffing going on there, and they're forcing Rauch and Weiser to engage with the Greek team of Papathanasiou and Chotras. And so Chatagnier and Ducommun quite aggressive. Rauch and Weiser looking like they're just clear ahead. And it'd be interesting to see what they do. I would expect Rauch and Weiser maybe to drive away. I'm not sure, but the Germans certainly getting sandwiched there between the Greek team and the Swiss team. And Francois, they're pretty good sailors, Chatagnier and Ducommun.
Oh yeah, Jean-Pascal Chatagnier is well known in Switzerland. He sailed a lot in the surplus class. He won, I think, 1 or 2 times the famous Boulder on the Lake of Geneva. and many Swiss titles in this class. Patrick Ducomin was sailing for the Swiss team on Tornado, the multi-hull, so two very experienced sailors. And I have to admit that it's a very impressive fight for the third to fifth place. I would not like to be pushed against the Greeks like this if I was on the water, in fact. And yeah, Jean-Pascal and Patrick, the Swiss team just won their second Blue Star for the 9th District Championship in Thun like 2 weeks ago. And that's the same kind of race course, very tricky, mountain lake. So I think they have all cards in their hands to do a good result here in Brunnen.
Okay, well that's good inside knowledge. Out on the water, Christian Shearer. Christian, we're looking at quite a good battle. I'm sure you're sort of trying to climb your way towards the front of the fleet and reposition, but we're looking at a great battle between almost third and fifth. We've got Papathanasio and Chotras just ahead of the Germans, Rauch and Weiser, and then Châtenay and Ducomont putting a lot of pressure, and right behind them the other German team of Rottermann and Holweg. So there's 4 boats battling away between third and fifth and sixth. And Christian, I'm just wondering if you're anywhere near those guys.
Yeah, I'm actually right next to them. I'm just a couple of boat lengths sideways to Papathanasio, the Greek, and I see the Germans and the Swiss and everybody closely together here. And it's actually a bit nice increase of the breeze here. And there was just a jury boat racing next to me as they wanted to check on these guys that nobody was pumping, but the boats are just nicely accelerating here, doing a good speed with that extra breeze. It looks like that Papathanasio has the best speed at the moment. Coming downwind here with everybody just racing along, and I think Papathanasio has the best speed. The Swiss guys, Châtenay, are doing really nicely as well, while the Germans have lost a little bit of their speed. Not that much, but it's a bit in the puffs and the pressure. I'd say Rauch and Wiese are doing pretty nicely at the moment. So that it's not so fast at the moment as Rottermann and Holweg, who are have a little bit slowed down. The boat is coming nicely in behind. It's definitely George Sabo, who's got some pretty nice boat speed as well. So I'm right next to them. It's going to be interesting when they have to jive, what's going to happen. At the moment, I see the Papathanasio, who pulled away or bit forward like 1 boat length, and it's going to be an interesting finish here into that finish line for, I'd say, 3rd, 4th, 5th place. It'll be really cool to see who's going to come out on top here.
Well, Christian, we've just fired up some VMGs. Looks quite complicated on screen, but we're looking at that yellow line. The pink line is the actual boat speed, and the yellow line is the velocity made good. Effectively, their real speed down towards the finish, the next point of sailing. And you can just see Papathanasio, their VMG is 6.2, and then we've got 6.5 for Châtenay and Ducomont, and then I think Rauch and Weiss 6.9. So a real interesting battle, these guys trying to soak their way down towards the finish line. They're all sailing downwind. The Star class doesn't have a spinnaker, and so they move their entire rig forward. The whole mast and this huge mainsail gets tilted forward, and they put out a little whisker pole for the Genoa, the little jib out front, and the crew stands before the mast and tries to create a little bit more waterline length, I believe. And so a great battle for the teams going down towards the finish of race number 3. Francois, I'm sure they're going to be pretty exhausted after 3 races out there on the water with quite a lot of weather being thrown at them, but a really decent fight there in that second row between the 2nd and 6th sailor, and we'll see how they get on. It's looking like Negri and Lambertenghi are running away with this one over Kulpa and Rosler, who had that stellar first beat with their right-hand flyer. But the action, I think, is with Papathanasio and Chatenay and Rauch and Rotermund. That little group. Just see who comes out on top there. Good stuff, Francois.
Yeah, definitely. I think for the top 2, the end is really close, and there is nothing more to say about these 2 because we have 100 and more than 40 meters away for Negri. But we have definitely a huge fight from 3rd to 7th or even 8th. Yeah, the Greek seems really strong during this downwind leg. Sorry. I see that Jean-Pascal Chatenay is going really hard on them, trying to get their wind and make them going a little bit slower to be able to attack. The German guy are trying to go directly to the finish line, doing less way. Let's see what's going to happen.
Okay. Thanks, Francois. I wonder if you would do your incredible spreadsheet maths, and we'll do a bit of back-of-the-envelope calculations as they cross the line to figure out how the results of race 3 affect the overall leaderboard after 3 races. Out there on the water, Christian, you've got a grandstand seat as these guys hammer down towards the finish. Talk us through it, Christian.
Yeah, it's pretty nice to see here. I'm still alongside Papathanasio, Chatenay, and the 2 German boats, and it looks like at the moment still. I like the job that the Greek team is doing. They're sailing really nicely. They're doing these little body moves that are helping the boat to accelerate a little bit. They're taking every wave, and they're moving, and they're actually just getting ready for a jibe, and they can actually clearly jibe, as it looks like, in front of Chatenay. They're just setting up. The main comes across, and they're nice pump here, nice acceleration, and Chatenay is actually following. They can't cover them. So I think Papathanasio done the nicest job here on this downwind. They're the biggest contender for the 3rd spot here. And now Chatenay has dived, and now the 2 Germans are jibing at the same time. So I'll give my points to Papathanasio for 3rd place. Meanwhile, I just see Diego Negri and his teammate Lambertenghi going through the finish line. They got this 3rd race as well, and Kulpe and his crewmate just jibed now as well. They're gonna secure the second place. So Negri, he's been really outperforming everybody here today. Really nice performance. Kulpe and Rosler just approaching the finish line now. Finishing now. Yeah, they got the point. And now.
Okay, sorry, Christian, we just had you cut off there on our mobile signal. So there's Kulpa and Rosler just coming through the finish line, second after Diego Negri and Sergio Lambertenghi. And it looks like the Greek team have just held everybody off for 3rd position as they come through that finish line. Very consistent sailing by Emilios Papathanasio and Antonis Chotras. And then Chatenay and Ducomont, the Blue Star sailors, hammering across the line, and a fabulous last burst of speed from Rotermund and Holweg, just pipping it from Rauch and Weiser. And then Zebo and Pulfer Pulver. Where have these guys come from? That is absolutely stunning. They've crossed the line in 7th. Phenomenal downwind leg for them, and almost a photo finish, but Zimmermann and Coy just over Wasser and Gauci, and then Kohler and Schaefer right behind them. So not much in it there. If you look, just 20 seconds between about 5 or 6 boats there. Very close finish for positions 5 to 10, and then Merkelbach and Bartel just crossing now in 11th position. Wow, a dramatic finale, a dramatic final leg there. A great result for Szabo and Pulver, George Szabo and Serge Pulver, who were joint leaders going into this race. They were out of the top 20 at some stage, and they've managed to claw their way back up to 7th. So phenomenal result for them. As we look at Trinkart and Melan, then Urban and Mendel just crossing the finish line, with the Sundmans from Finland, I believe, and then a couple of Swedish boats, Lofsted with Clean, and then Crook and Lundgren, and then the Brazilians Pascalato and Buening just crossing through behind, in front of Rofil and Guda, and then the Scheidegger brothers going through now. So quite a quick final leg, quite a 1 hour 10-minute race, 1 hour 8 minutes for the leaders, Diego Negri and Sergio Lambertenghi. We're doing some quick calculations here to try and figure out how this race has affected the overall leaderboard. I'll just see if I can come back to Christian. We'll dial him back in just a moment for some final thoughts. But as we carry on looking at Virtual Eye, Camille Dreyfus just approaching the line there, and then Berger and Marazzi coming through as we look. Ooh, not so great for Berger and Marazzi. Let's have a look and just see what that means to the overalls. This is a back of the envelope unofficial results here, and that means the Italians Negri and Lambertenghi are leading the regatta overall with 9 points, and then they're followed by the Greeks in 2nd place, Papathanasiou and Chotras on 10 points, and George Szabo and Serge Pulver in 3rd position now on 11 points. And then point-wise, there's quite a big gap on 24 points. 13 points behind 3rd position is Merkelbach and Bartel in 4th overall. And good finish for the Brazilians, have taken them up to 5th overall, Pascalato and Buening, and then the brothers Kurt and Marcus Scheidegger up into 6th position overall. Those aren't even provisional results, they're provisional results, back of the envelope provisional results. We'll have some official results on the website a little bit later from the actual race committee. But Christian, I'm hoping you're back online for just some final thoughts of the first 3 races of the Star Eastern Hemispheres. Christian, over to you.
Yeah, I'm back online here. A bit more green again as the last boats are finishing. And definitely stay Lake Lucerne. I think from the race committee mainly for these second 2 races here in the Ordensee with nice sailing conditions, and great to have 3 races in, so we got a bit of we're able to catch up a little bit after yesterday. So quite impressed by the performance from Diego Negri. He really sailed to his ranking in these races, and looking forward to see the calculations after these 3 races, and definitely all on for the next 2 days, and to see who's going to become the final champion here on the field of Städtesee in Switzerland. Thanks a lot, and back to you guys in the office.
Thank you very much indeed, Christian Scherer. Well, that's Christian's day done. We will catch up with Christian tomorrow for race number 4. Now we've got Mark Reynolds from the USA. We will try and patch Mark through. We'll see if that works in a moment. Mark, we'll try and come to you in a second on Skype. I can see you on my machine. Chris will punch some numbers and buttons and all that kind of stuff. But just to confirm with Christian and to confirm with viewers, that's the overall leaderboard unofficially is seeing Diego Negri and Sergio Lambertenghi now leading the Star Eastern Hemispheres, with the Greeks 1 point behind, Papathanasio and Chotras 1 point behind, and then 1 point behind them Szabo and Pulfer. So very tight at that top of the leaderboard with the top three, and then quite a gap of 13 points to fourth position with Merkelbach and Bartel, then Pascalato and Burning, and then the Scheidegger brothers in sixth position on 40 points. So quite a lot of drama. We have Mark Reynolds on Skype. I think we'll be able to come to you, Mark. Thank you very much for calling through to us, and I wonder if you've been watching any of this.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I missed the first two races. It was a little early for me here on Pacific Coast time in the U.S., but I did catch the third race from start to finish, and it was very exciting.
Well, cheers, Mark. Tell us, where in the world are you at the moment?
I'm in San Diego, and I'm actually leaving tonight for Nantucket to do a little sailing. Not the beautiful mountains that I'm watching here in Lake Lucerne, but another beautiful place for sailing.
Well, Mark, double gold medalist in the Star with a few World Championships under your belt. And it's very tricky sailing on a lake. We'll just have a quick conversation. How many, you've probably done quite a bit of lake sailing. Are there any secrets that you can pass on to us, any insights of lake sailing?
It's pretty tricky, as everybody saw in that first beat. You never can count anybody out, and you know, we saw a pretty good battle right off the starting line with Berger and Szabo kind of midline or maybe a little bit above that, but going very fast, and turned out the right side was the place to go, and they were down in the deep mid fleet in the 20s, and you know, you just don't know. I think the guys that had gone right, there was only a couple boats over there, had a good break, but that's what happens on lakes.
Well, Mark, you work with George Szabo. It's very tight at the top on that top podium at the moment. 1, 2, and 3, just 1 point between first and second, and 1 point between second and third. As an experienced championship campaigner yourself, you're in the top three. What sort of game plan would you go into the fourth race?
Well, I think as we saw in that race, you probably, you know, you can get off to one side or the other and make a huge move like the guys on the right, but if you were over on the left, like Berger was, you can really get hurt. So I don't know. I would prefer to, on that first beat, to bend where Negri was, kind of work in the middle to see what side's paying, and then you can get over there and at least if you're around the first mark in the top 10, you've got a good chance of getting a top 5 finish. Szabo did an excellent job coming back, by the way. I mean, he wasn't in the top 20 at the first mark, and picked off a couple boats on each leg, a little bit more than that on the first downwind leg, and moved into 7th at the finish. So, you know, there's still a chance to work your way back. But I would, to answer your question, I would tend to be a little conservative initially after the start, and then if you see something working, you can get over there.
Thank you. That's really good insight. And Mark, just very briefly, tell us, how have you been since the Worlds on Lake Garda? What have you been up to? How are you?
Well, I've been on the golf course more than I've been in the starboat since the Worlds. But yeah, it was a great trip, and actually bringing back memories looking at the lake here with the mountains coming right down in the water. You know, like I say, I'm going sailing in the next couple days on the East Coast. But no, I've just been kind of catching up with everything. I had to help Szabo get off a few days ago, get some sails done to have delivered and all that. And just been doing a little work around the house, that type of thing.
Well, listen, Mark Reynolds from the United States, Thank you very much for your time, and we're going to ask you one tricky question to finish with. I'm putting a beer on the Italians, Negri and Lambertenghi, with Chris, my vision mixer, sitting next to me. Do you fancy a little wager for winning this one?
Yeah, Negri, he'll be tough to beat, but it is on a lake and it'll be tricky. I'll have to go with Zabo on that. So, yeah, I'll bet you that beer.
Excellent. Well done. You're supporting your buddy George. I believe you work with him a little bit, and that's fair enough, flying the Stars and Stripes. So we'll take you on that. I love a bit of wagering going on. And Mark Reynolds from the United States, thanks so much for your time, for Skyping in. Good luck with your sailing championship coming up, and appreciate your time. Take care, Mark.
Yeah,
cheers.
Thanks, Digby. Thanks for the great commentary. The graphics are stunning. Yeah, it was great watching the race. Although I couldn't see the rain. I heard it was raining, but I didn't see the rain on the graphics. Maybe I missed that. Thank you.
Oh, cheers, Mark. Well,
right.
We didn't get too much rain in our lovely hotel suite either, I must admit. The guys out on the water, they were the ones who had all the rain. Well, farewell to Mark Reynolds, 2 times world champ, 2 times gold medalist, an absolute legend in the star class, and Skyping in there from the United States. That was pretty cool. We liked that. That was all good stuff. Cheerio, Mark. Take care, mate. We're going to finish off, we're going to wrap up our broadcast now, and we will be back. They are scheduling a race start for around midday tomorrow. They may move that forward, we don't know. We'll see how that goes. But for now, that is it from the Star Eastern Hemisphere Championships. Fair bit of drama, fair bit of weather, and you can see the live cam now just showing us all that cloud over Lake Lucerne. And we're going to wrap it up, and we'll come back for race number 4 tomorrow. And just keep an eye on Facebook and the website for what kind of time that starts up. But for now, just a very quick thanks to Christian Scherer out on the water, taking all that weather for us and giving us that lovely insight. To Chris sitting next to me, to Francois from the Star Sailors League. Thanks, Francois. To Bridie and Ben from Virtual Eye. Brent and Kylie down there in New Zealand trying to figure out what our problem was earlier. And of course to John from Virtual Eye, who was looking in from Alicante. And we will catch up with you tomorrow. Take care, have a good evening, and we'll catch up on race 4. Cheers.